What is going on, you guys? Missed the part here, back again with another What If episode. And in today's video, I am very excited, my fellow watchers of the multiverse. And before we begin, I want to give a massive shout out to Zachary Stonebreaker for making this video possible. He wanted me to do what if Obi-Wan was born with Ultra Instinct and Anakin was born with Ultra Ego. So although I am personally not fully there with anime and all that type of stuff, Zachary was here to help me do this storyline, and he really wanted it to be done and on the channel, and I was all for it. I was very excited to, dive into this new world, this new dimension, reading up upon so many different things, and to finally, get into this particular series. I want to give Zachary massive props, a massive thank you, and me and Zachary, we have tons of brand new content coming out, so it's going to be very interesting. We got a lot of different Halloween specials, we got a bunch of Christmas episodes coming soon, so that's something that you guys can take a look at whenever you want, whenever they're coming out. But that being said, my fellow watchers of the multiverse, if you guys are new to the channel and do want to see more what if scenarios like this one, I would highly recommend that you click that big red subscribe button, make sure to like the video, and share with your friends so you and your friends are all up to date whenever I post a video. But that being said, my fellow watchers of the multiverse, let's dive into this brand new journey. Location: Anakin's farm, Tatooine. The sun is setting on Tatooine. Shmi, Anakin's mother, searches the horizon for signs of her son. He has been returning home late quite often, and she is worried that he might be mixing with the wrong crowd. In the distance, Shmi notices the silhouette of a speeder racing towards the farm, kicking up a cloud of red dust in its path. It's Anakin. Anakin's speeder comes to a screeching halt outside the farm, and the 9-year-old jumps out of his newly acquired ride. Shmi questions her son on the speeder, and he tells her that he won it in a racing bet. Shmi expresses her disappointment in her son, and tells him that he should not be gambling or risking his life. Anakin storms off into the house, and Shmi follows him. Anakin is getting angrier by the second. He is starting to hear dark whispers rattle around in his brain. He expresses his dissatisfaction with life as a farmer and slave, and says that he would rather live a more exciting life as a raider or racer. Shmi tells Anakin that he has good inside of him, but if he continues to feed the bad, it will grow and eventually take over. The whispers become louder, and in a moment of uncontrollable rage, Anakin slams his fist down on the counter, blasting an explosion of the Force through the household. Shmi is caught in the shockwave, and it sends her flying into the wall behind her. Anakin rushes over to his mother with tears in his eyes. He didn't mean to hurt her. He didn't know he had this power inside of him. Anakin holds his mother's lifeless body in his arms, shaking her furiously in the hope that she'll regain consciousness. But she doesn't. Anakin bursts out of his home with a backpack of possessions on his back. The warm orange hues of the sunset have disappeared, and Anakin is wrapped in the darkness of the night sky. He jumps onto his speeder with tears still streaming down his face, and races off into the darkness. Location: Jedi Temple, Coruscant. Obi-Wan is floating in a deep meditative state. He is trying to hone in on his Ultra Instinct capabilities, which requires ultimate focus to achieve the split between mind and body. We see him hovering a few inches above the ground, with his legs crossed and his hands resting gently in his lap. The once peaceful expression on Obi-Wan's face starts to strain as he falls into a vision. He sees a great struggle for power between forces of light and dark. Suddenly, his vision takes an unexpected turn, and Obi-Wan recognizes the markets of Tatooine, and then sees a moisture farm. Obi-Wan wakes abruptly from his meditation. Location: Qui-Gon's chambers, Jedi Temple. Obi-Wan comes rushing into Qui-Gon's chambers to share the news of his vision. Qui-Gon is surprised by the details of the vision and wonders what role Tatooine has to play in the bigger picture. Qui-Gon sends Obi-Wan to Tatooine to investigate his vision further. Location: Tatooine Market, Tatooine. Anakin is walking through the market with a hood over his head. He is eyeing at the food stalls while his stomach rumbles. "Hey kid." Anakin's head turns swiftly in the direction of the call. He notices a man with a robotic arm, wearing a balaclava and a pair of goggles, with a blaster holstered to his waist. Anakin approaches the man slowly. "Captain Marks, you're the kid who beat Chunky for his speeder the other day, aren't you? Wasn't much competition." Captain Marks laughs hysterically and asks Anakin if wants to join his crew for lunch. Anakin agrees and follows the raider. Location: Tatooine. Saloon. Tatooine. Captain Marks walks into the bar with young Anakin by his side. The raider's crew looks surprised to see Anakin tagging along with their leader. They sit down at the table and Captain Marks introduces Anakin to his crew. Gunner, the largest member of the four-man crew, wants to know why Anakin is here. What use could they have with the kid? "A couple days ago, I watched this kid take Chunky's speeder off of him like it was nothing. The kid can fly, and we could use another pilot for our next heist." Anakin's face lights up with excitement as he realizes why the captain has brought him in. He has always dreamt about the thrill of life as a raider. Gunner worries that Anakin is too young for their line of work, and says that he'll be running home to mommy at the first sign of danger. Hearing this, Anakin's excitement quickly fades as he is overcome with guilt. Noticing Anakin's change in demeanor, the captain tells him that his crew will be Anakin's new family, and that the past is behind him. Whatever happened, it doesn't matter anymore. He tells Anakin that he can be whoever he chooses to be. Anakin hears the whispers in his head again, and his fist clenches. The drinks on the table start to rattle briefly, before the whispers stop and Anakin releases his grip. That was strange. Don't usually get tremors on Tatooine. Anyway, welcome to the team, kid. Let's see what you're made of. Location: Tatooine Market, Tatooine. Obi-Wan has arrived on Tatooine. His vision has brought him to the market, although he's not quite sure what he's looking for. Obi-Wan wanders through the market and receives some suspicious glances from the vendors he passes by. Jedi are not particularly welcome on Tatooine. Obi-Wan's senses lead him into the Tatooine Saloon. Location: Tatooine Saloon, Tatooine. Obi-Wan approaches the bartender, who asks him what sort of business a Jedi could have in Tatooine. Unsure of what to say exactly, Obi-Wan tells the bartender that he is tracking a covert criminal organization. Hearing this, the bartender asks for a reward in turn for information, and Obi-Wan obliges. The bartender tells Obi-Wan that earlier today, a group of unknown raiders sat in one of the saloon's booths, and that they had a kid with them. The bartender says that the raiders aren't from around town, but that he knows that the kid is a local. The bartender also tells Obi-Wan that the word out on the street is that the kid's mother was found dead on their farm a few days ago. As Obi-Wan is about to leave, the bartender shares another piece of information about a convoy coming through Tatooine that is said to be carrying valuable cargo. Location: Tatooine Supply Route, Tatooine. Inside the Raiders' ship, Captain Marks runs his team through the plan. Captain Marks and Anakin are going to serve as decoys. They'll attack the front of the convoy and keep the guards busy, while Gunner and the others enter from the rear. Once Gunner's unit has taken control of the last link in the convoy, they'll load their ship with the cargo and escape before the other carriers notice a thing. The crew all agree on their roles and prepare for action. Anakin and Captain Marks are outside of the ship now. They see the convoy approaching in the distance, so they climb onto their speeders and approach from the flank at high speed. Anakin and Marks swoop in on the convoy and drop mines in front of the first link of the convoy. The mines explode, blasting desert sand into the air. Their decoy works as planned. They have secured the attention of the guards, who appear on the roof of the first link and begin firing at them. Anakin and Marks are too agile on the speeders for the guards to come anywhere close to landing a shot. Obi-Wan sees the heist happening through his binoculars. He sees the two speeders causing chaos and taunting the guards at the front of the convoy. He notices young Anakin on one of the speeders. Obi-Wan also sees the raiders' ship stealthily approaching from the rear. Obi-Wan removes his binoculars and sits in his meditative position. He takes a deep breath in. Let's give this another shot. The raiders' ship has reached the rear of the convoy. Gunner and two others disembark their ship and use a laser gun to cut a hole into the roof of the link. They drop into the cargo hold and take out the cargo guards, and then use charges to blow the back door off of the link. Marks and Anakin are still harassing the guards up front. Anakin watches Marks use the blasters on his speeder to shoot one of the guards on the roof of the link. Anakin finds the blaster trigger attachment on his speeder, but he is conflicted about using it to take a life. His mother's words echo in his head. "You have good inside of you, Anakin." Anakin shakes his mother's voice out of his head, locks in on his target, and blasts him to pieces. Yeehaw, great shooting, kid. The raiders are busy offloading the cargo onto their ship. The convoy is heading directly towards the meditating Obi-Wan at full speed. He seems to be completely locked in and unaware that the convoy is headed right for him. It's getting closer and closer, and if he doesn't move soon, he's roadkill. Anakin notices the levitating Jedi. Obi-Wan starts to exude a blue glow. He has achieved Ultra Instinct. His eyes open and they have turned gray. As the convoy is about to run over him, Obi-Wan backflips and lands on the roof. He is met with a barrage of blaster fire, but none of the guards can hit him as he is too fast. Obi-Wan dodges every shot before using the Force to crush their blasters. Captain Marks locks in on Obi-Wan and starts firing at him. Obi-Wan uses his lightsaber to deflect the rapid blaster fire with incredible ease, and directs the laser beams back at Marks. One of the beams hits Marks' speeder, and he spins out of control and goes hurtling towards the desert, and crashes into the sand. Anakin speeds towards the captain to assist him, and Obi-Wan follows. Anakin jumps off his speeder and runs to the wreckage of Captain Marks' crash. Marks is crushed under his speeder, barely hanging on. Obi-Wan arrives behind Anakin. His Ultra Instinct glow has faded, and he seems a little confused about what has just happened. Obi-Wan, "I'm not going to hurt you, son. Let me help you." The whispers in Anakin's mind start to spur him on once more. A look of burning rage stretches across Anakin's face as the life slips from Marks' body. Anakin turns around to face Obi-Wan. Anakin, who says, "I need your help." As Obi-Wan takes a step closer, Anakin's rage takes over him, and he screams and punches the sand, sending a massive shockwave of the Force exploding outward from within him. The blast sends Obi-Wan flying and knocks him out. Obi-Wan is lying in the sand unconscious. Anakin is now glowing a bright red. He looks down at his hands in confusion. He has transformed into his hidden ultra ego form. His shockwave has woken something up. A giant beast is moving rapidly through the desert sand towards the convoy. We can't see what it is just yet, as it remains hidden beneath the sea of sand. Gunner and his men disembark the rear link of the convoy and jump back into their ship and fly towards Anakin. Gunner sees the massive beast moving towards the convoy beneath the sand. The beast bursts out of the sand beneath the convoy, sending the lynx flying into the air. The beast is a 10-legged greater krayt dragon. One of the lynx smashes into the raider's ship, causing a massive explosion. Another lynx comes crashing down towards Anakin. He tries to turn and run, but he isn't going to make it. Obi-Wan regains consciousness just in time and uses the Force to deflect the falling link away from Anakin and saves him from being crushed. The krayt dragon is coming towards Obi-Wan and Anakin to devour them, but Obi-Wan throws his lightsaber at the beast, hitting it in its weak spot right about the nose, killing it instantly. Anakin falls to the ground in tears, and his Ultra Ego powers fade away. Obi-Wan approaches Anakin slowly. What's happening to me? You have power far beyond your imagination. That's why I'm here. I felt your power in a dream. There is a battle going on inside of you between good and evil, and this power is a part of that. Come with me and I'll teach you how to use it for good. Obi-Wan gives out his hand and Anakin takes it. Obi-Wan helps Anakin to his feet and they walk away from the wreckage together. Location: Jedi Temple, Coruscant. The Jedi have all gathered for Qui-Gon's memorial service at the Jedi Temple. Obi-Wan gives a speech in honor of his fallen master. Following the service, the Jedi Masters meet in the council room to discuss the issue of Anakin's turn to the dark side. Many of the Jedi find Obi-Wan to be responsible for the mess, since he was the one who brought young Skywalker to the Jedi Temple to begin with. Master Yoda speaks up, and if they had not tried to show Anakin the way of the Jedi, the Sith would have got to him anyway, and it is better to try and fail than to not try at all. Mace Windu wants to know why Qui-Gon's body was never found in the rubble of the Limerge building. All that could be found was his lightsaber and the severed body of Darth Maul. Obi-Wan informs the Jedi Masters about Anakin's ability to wield the power of destruction, but he doesn't believe that Anakin would have used Hakai to purposefully kill Qui-Gon. The Jedi Masters are outraged and argue that Anakin must be stopped, and that the power of destruction cannot be allowed to go unchecked. Obi-Wan agrees that the situation is severe, but he still believes that there is good in Anakin, and that he can be saved. None of the Jedi agree with Obi-Wan, but Yoda allows Obi-Wan to seek out his Padawan to see whether or not he has been fully consumed by the dark side. Location: Kamino, Outer Rim. Darth Sidious and Anakin overlook their clone army from the control room of the Kamino military base. Anakin looks different and dresses differently. His elegant Jedi robe has been replaced by a sinister dark cape with a heavy hood. His gaze is stone cold and he has black rings under his eyes. He is being consumed by the dark. Darth Sidious tells Anakin that for years he has waited for someone with the strength to lead his army from the front lines. He could never do it himself because his power belongs in the shadows, so that he can maintain his double identity and manipulate the Republic from within the courthouses. But now, with Anakin by his side, they will use the clone army to overthrow the Galactic Republic and form the Galactic Empire, with Darth Sidious as the supreme leader. Darth Sidious asks Anakin if he is ready for his next mission, and tells him to take a regiment of the clone army to overthrow Corellia. Darth Sidious intends to make use of Corellia's superior ship building infrastructure to build their fleet. Location: Corellia, Core world. Anakin's ship enters Corellia's atmosphere. The ship docks into the main base and is met with hostility from the local guard. They surround the ship with their weapons drawn, ready to fire. The doors of Anakin's ship open, and Anakin emerges alone. He draws his lightsaber and the guards begin firing at him, but he uses his saber to deflect most of the fire. Anakin's regiment comes marching out from behind him, and they easily overthrow the base with their numbers. Anakin and his clones take over the base, and we see as multiple other ships carrying clone soldiers burst out of hyperspace into Corellia's atmosphere. Location: Jedi Temple. Coruscant. Obi-Wan is trying to hone in on his Ultra Instinct abilities, but his focus keeps drifting. He can't stop thinking about where Anakin might be. A messenger comes into Obi-Wan's chambers to inform him that Anakin has taken over Corellia with the help of a clone army, and that he is wielding a red lightsaber. Obi-Wan gets up and leaves immediately. Obi-Wan is met in the hallway by Mace Windu, who questions him on where he is going. Obi-Wan says that Mace Windu must also know about Anakin's deeds in Corellia by now. Mace Windu says that if Obi-Wan is hoping to go to Corellia in order to turn Anakin, then he has lost his mind. Obi-Wan repeats Master Yoda's words from the council meeting and says that he must try. Location: Corellia, core world. Obi-Wan arrives on Corellia and seeks Anakin out in secret. He slips past clone guards undetected and manages to sneak into the main shipyard. Obi-Wan finds Anakin standing alone on a bridge above the shipyard, watching over as cargo ships fly beneath him. Anakin has been expecting Obi-Wan, and knew that he would be ignorant enough to believe that he was capable of returning Anakin to the Jedi Order. Obi-Wan tells Anakin that he has failed him as a mentor, and that he can still redeem himself and right his recent wrongs. Anakin does not believe there is anything about his actions that needs redemption, and accuses Obi-Wan of trying to control him by taking him in as a child. Obi-Wan argues that he only wanted to help Anakin, and that the dark side is what seeks to control him and not the Jedi. Mace Windu arrives on the bridge and draws his lightsaber. Obi-Wan tells Windu to stand down, but he does not listen. Anakin is glad that Windu followed Obi-Wan, although he was hoping that they would have come with more numbers to give him more of a challenge. Anakin draws his lightsaber and Windu attacks. Anakin appears to be casually fighting off the Jedi Master, using only one hand to wield his saber. Obi-Wan tries to use the Force to assist Windu, but Anakin deflects his attack and knocks Obi-Wan back with a much more powerful blast of the Force. Obi-Wan falls off the bridge, but manages to grab on to some wiring, preventing him from falling to his death. Windu attempts to jump over Anakin and attack from the other side of the bridge, but Anakin predicts the maneuver too well, and impales Windu on his landing with his saber. Obi-Wan pulls himself back onto the bridge, and pleads with Anakin one last time to stop this madness. Anakin transforms into Ultra Ego form, and strikes at Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan blocks Anakin's attack with his saber. Anakin keeps striking at Obi-Wan, pushing him closer and closer to the end of the bridge. Obi-Wan knows he must react now, or he'll surely fall to his death. Obi-Wan stills his mind, and lets the Force run freely through his being. Anakin strikes once more, pushing Obi-Wan right to the edge of the bridge. Anakin strikes again, but before his saber can clash with his old Jedi Master, Obi-Wan transforms into Ultra Instinct form and dodges the attack. Anakin launches a series of strikes, none of which come close to Obi-Wan, who appears to have his eyes shut. Obi-Wan withdraws his saber and continues to evade all of Anakin's attacks. Obi-Wan punches the air in Anakin's direction, creating a powerful force blast that sends Anakin flying off the bridge. Obi-Wan watches as Anakin falls through the air before bouncing off of a ship and landing unconscious on a platform below. Obi-Wan flees the bridge as he is apprehended by a group of clones. Anakin wakes up dazed from the fall and watches through blurred vision as his old master escapes the base. Anakin returns to Darth Sidious and apologizes for his failure to kill Obi-Wan. Darth Sidious tells Anakin that he will get another chance to end Kenobi in time, but first, they must go to Mustafar for an important meeting. Location: Separatist stronghold, Mustafar. Palpatine has arranged for the remaining leaders of the Galactic Republic to meet on Mustafar to address the invasion of Corellia and the threat of the clone army. The leaders are confused about why Palpatine insisted that they all be here in person when they could have conducted matters via hologram. Palpatine enters the meeting room, except it is not the Palpatine they recognize, but rather Darth Sidious. Anakin follows behind his master, and then brutally slaughters all the leaders in the room. Darth Sidious tells Anakin that they're now closer to achieving a galactic empire than ever before, but their biggest battle still lies ahead of them. Anakin goes down to one of the lava rivers to think. As he stares into the lava, he is reminded of his old life, of the happiness he once shared with Obi-Wan at the Jedi Temple, and of their missions together. Obi-Wan joins Anakin on the bank of the lava river and tells Anakin that he never left Corellia. He has been tracking Anakin's ships since then. Obi-Wan tries again to convince Anakin to come back with him to the Jedi Temple and make things right. He says that this will be his last chance at redemption. Anakin says that he should have killed Obi-Wan back on that bridge in Corellia, and that he was lucky to survive. Obi-Wan tells Anakin that rage will only take him so far, and that he overestimates the power of destruction. Anakin lets his ultra ego powers take over and fuses a Hakai ball with his lightsaber. Obi-Wan closes his eyes, takes a deep breath in, and transforms into his ultra instinct state. It seems Obi-Wan has mastered this form, as he has transformed effortlessly. They begin an epic duel on the bank of the lava river. Despite Anakin's immense godlike power, the speed of Obi-Wan in his Ultra Instinct form makes him untouchable. Anakin's heightened lust for battle is fueling him to throw everything he has at the fight. Obi-Wan continues to evade Anakin and lands multiple counter-strikes. Anakin laughs at Obi-Wan's attacks and says that any damage Obi-Wan tries to inflict will only make him stronger. Obi-Wan uses the Force to project some lava onto Anakin, which seems to overcharge his power-up completely. Anakin attacks once more, and Obi-Wan delivers a double-fisted Force punch, which knocks Anakin to the ground, and his Ultra Ego fades away. Anakin gets back to his feet, but Obi-Wan cuts off Anakin's hand, and his lightsaber drops into the lava river. Anakin tries to use his other hand to throw a Hakai ball at Obi-Wan, but the Jedi Master swiftly cuts off that arm too. Obi-Wan looks his Padawan in the eyes and says that he is sorry for failing him, and then kicks him down the bank into the lava river. Obi-Wan turns his back on Anakin's burning body as he screams in pain and walks away with his head hanging low. Anakin manages to roll what's left of his torso out of the lava and onto the bank, where he is met by Darth Sidious. The Sith Lord tells Anakin that it is not over and pulls his mangled body from the lava river. Location: Jedi Temple, Coruscant. Obi-Wan returns to the Jedi Temple and informs the others about Windu's death, as well as Anakin's defeat. Location: Mustafar, the first base of the new galactic empire. Darth Sidious watches as his scientists assemble dark armor around what's left of Anakin's body. The scientists place the helmet over Anakin's head, and we hear him start breathing hoarsely through the mask. Darth Sidious, rise Darth Ego. And that is going to be it for this insane what-if scenario of what if Obi-Wan Kenobi was born with Ultra Instinct and Anakin Skywalker was born with Ultra Ego. So what did you think of this what-if scenario? If you guys do enjoy these videos, do make sure to check out the Patreon as well as the Substack. Both have different perks, and I would highly recommend that you check out both of them, as there's something for everybody, whether it's exclusive behind the scenes content, whether it's different written scripts on Substack. There's so many different things for anybody. So that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video, and I will see you in the next What If episode. Take care and have a wonderful day. Peace out.